Golden vulture, a vulture-type bird. The feathers on its upper body and wings were black with a faint silver sheen. The fur on its lower body and the feathers below its wings were all golden. Its powerful claws and powerful wings posed a huge threat to Luo Feng, even if his speed increased by a huge amount. However, under the attack of the flying beast horde, those with poor technique can't increase their speed at all. Piu! Xiao! Within the flying beast horde, the snow-white blade flashed time and time again. Shrill cries resounded through the sky. Golden vultures fell down one after another, and the other golden vultures crazily attacked. In terms of speed, the golden vulture's flying speed far surpasses the speed of a walking beast of the same level. Flying beasts are faster than walking beasts, this is common knowledge. This made Luo Feng unable to escape from the flying beast horde. He could only fight for his life under the attack of the flying beasts. His blade was like lightning and every blade killed. Not good. Luo Feng was lifted by the claws of a golden vulture. Once his feet left the ground he couldn't use his technique. Luo Feng, who couldn't use his technique, was instantly torn into pieces by the golden vulture horde. Fresh blood flew everywhere. Luo Feng's corpse disappeared, and so did the golden vulture horde. That hurts. Luo Feng once again appeared in the wilderness. What's my Tower of Trials level now? Luo Feng raised his head and yelled. Under the state of slaughter, Luo Feng didn't dare to be distracted at all. Naturally, he didn't count how many golden vultures he killed. He just felt like he lasted longer than last time. But no matter what, he still didn't succeed. An electronic sound rang. Tower of Trials level 3.5. 3.5. Luo Feng let out a look of joy. 3.5 times 3.5, his battle ability amplifier is 12.25, which is over 12. Success. Ah, I actually succeeded. Ever since he came to the elite training camp, he didn't dare to relax for even a day. Because of his hard training in the first month, he was able to reach rank 68 and receive the contract from the Dojo of Limits. And after receiving the contract, he set a deadline of 3 months and set the highest standards for himself. He was constantly pondering about his martial arts. When he showered, he was thinking about his blade technique. When he was chatting with his family or Suexian, he was thinking about his blade technique. In the last month, he challenged the trainees in the training camp like a madman, engaging in life and death battles time and time again. The last time it was a wager of 10 billion. Finally, on the night of the 30th of July, his battle ability amplifier had finally reached 12. Haha, come, the third levels be great, continue? Luo Feng laughed loudly. Another flock of golden vultures appeared in the sky. Luo Feng no longer had any mental pressure. He could only focus on training. The 1-hour trial was over. Luo Feng's final Tower of Trials level was 3.6. He finally completed the B stage. However, in the C stage Luo Feng was quickly killed. Yes, compared to my body's force exertion reaching 3.5 times and my body movement technique reaching perfect level, my weakness is my saber technique. My saber technique is only at the 2nd level of mastery. Luo Feng understood that the higher the level of the Tower of Trials, the higher the requirements are. If your blade technique is weak, then you won't be able to instantly kill a dozen monsters. Trial Tower level 3.6. This result, in the Battle God Circle, was considered a relatively good result. My battle ability amplifier is 12.6. Luo Feng revealed a smile. Jiangnan Pagoda, Luo Feng's study room. When Luo Feng came back and turned on his laptop, it was already 10:50 p.m. Without caring too much, Luo Feng swiftly pulled out the contract he signed with the Dojo of Limits from his laptop. This was a document that was scanned from the contract he signed. There was a clear phone number in the contract. Once Luo Feng's battle ability amplifier reaches the required level, he can call this number and ask for the reward. A huge reward. Luo Feng took in a deep breath. One portion of dragon blood costs 160 billion, and half price is 80 billion. The 9-stage Thunder Blade instruction manual costs 50 billion. The cheapest battle uniform and weapon set costs around 10 billion, and the half price is close to 10 billion. Even if it's all half price, it's still a shocking number. Of course, the Dojo of Limits cost is very low. The 9-stage Thunder Blade is actually selling the copyright, so the cost is almost zero. In the entire world, probably only the head, Hong, knows the cost of dragon blood, because he's the only one who can provide dragon blood. The battle uniform and weapon set costs only a few billion. All added together, the cost is at most a few dozen billion. However, that's the cost. Who would sell something to you at the cost price? Even if the governments of the various countries buy dragon blood, they'll buy it at the price of 80 billion. Beep beep, Luo Feng dialed the number. Hello. A deep voice rang out. Hello, I'm Luo Feng from the elite training camp. Luo Feng calmed down. I signed a contract with the dojo before. There are 5 reward conditions on the contract. As long as I reach one of the conditions, I can call this number and receive the reward, right? Yes, said the low voice. My battle ability amplifier has already exceeded 12, so I've fulfilled the first condition, said Luo Feng. Wait a moment, let me check. In just a moment, the voice's pitch slightly rose. Ah, congratulations, student Luo Feng. Your battle ability amplifier is currently 12.6, and right now, it's July 30th 2256, which is before August 1st, so you've fulfilled the conditions. Your reward is a 9th series battle uniform, weapon set, any instruction manual, and a portion of dragon blood worth 80 billion. When Luo Feng heard this, he couldn't help but to excitedly clench his left fist. Student Luo Feng, please tell me all the detailed information about the battle uniform and weapons you need. Also, tell me the name of the instruction manual you need, continued the low voice. I need a set of 9th series battle uniform according to. Luo Feng swiftly reported the sizes of his battle uniform, ghost blade, hexagonal shield, and other information. He also said his tactical communications watch, binoculars, backpack, and other supporting tools. Of course, he also mentioned the throwing knives he needed. I also need the complete 9-fold Thunder Blade manual. Finally, it's that portion of dragon blood, replied Luo Feng. Oh yeah, of the 10 9th series throwing knives I need, I hope that 2 of them can be SS grade throwing knives. I can remit the money to buy these 2 SS class flying knives. The flying dagger was small in size and used less materials. Even if it was SS rank, its price was much lower than a blood shadow blade of the same rank. These 2 SS class flying knives will be added to that combat uniform. The deep voice clearly did not care about the 2 SS grade flying knives. After all, the full price of an SS grade flying knife was only 400 million, and the half price was only 200 million. The cost was even lower. For the Dojo of Limits, after giving out such a huge reward, why would they care about money? The elite training camp is in the headquarter city. The reward will probably be delivered to the main entrance of the training camp within an hour. You can go there to receive your reward, said the deep voice. Within an hour? Luo Feng let out a face of surprise. He didn't think that he would receive it this quickly. Finally, congratulations to student Luo Feng for receiving this reward. At the same time, student Luo Feng, work hard and try to increase your battle ability amplifier to 16 so that you can receive another reward. After saying that, the deep voice hung up. After ending the call, the study room was silent. Luo Feng's heart was racing. Dragon blood, the dragon blood will be here soon. My strength can instantly change drastically. Luo Feng still felt like he was dreaming. Even now, Luo Feng still felt like he was dreaming. Just like that, the 9-fold Thunder Blade instruction manual and a portion of dragon blood were about to be in his hands. Just look at the commotion caused by the astronomical bounty of 100 billion. You can see how much wealth 100 billion is. And an instruction manual and a portion of dragon blood, even at half price, still far exceed 100 billion. Excited, Luo Feng was indeed too excited. After staying in the study room for 20 minutes, he couldn't help but to rush to the main entrance of the training camp. The main entrance. It was already 11 p.m. so it was a bit cool. Since it was the 30th, there weren't any students at the entrance. Student Luo Feng, why are you here so late at night? The person in charge of the guards at the entrance, a middle-aged man, laughed as he yelled. Of course he recognized this famous person of the training camp. I have something to do, smiled Luo Feng as he replied. The guard knew the rules so he didn't ask. And Luo Feng, under the night wind, wandered around the entrance by himself. As he waited, Luo Feng felt like every second and minute was passing slowly. Occasionally, a car would pass by the entrance of the training camp, and Luo Feng couldn't help but to raise his head to look. Sadly, none of them were. Beep. A horn rang and a large truck drove towards the entrance of the training camp. Beep. Let in. An electronic sound carried from the guard room at the entrance, shocking the patrolling soldiers and other personnel. Many of the systems in the elite training camp are controlled by AI systems and not by humans. Even the special cars of the dojo don't have the right to enter. The entrance opened automatically. The large truck drove in. This should be it. Luo Feng walked to the side. Luo Feng walked to the side. The large truck seemed to have discovered Luo Feng, as it directly drove to the side and stopped. Wah. The back door of the truck opened and a voice rang, "Student Luo Feng, please get in." Luo Feng ran to the back door of the truck. Before he even got in, a blue light shone on Luo Feng's body. At the same time, an electronic voice rang, "Student Luo Feng, identity confirmed, please get in." The interior of the truck was very luxurious. There were a total of 3 people inside and they all looked at Luo Feng with shock. This is Luo Feng? I wonder what HQ wants us to escort this time for all 3 of us to come out. Of the 3 people in the truck, 1 was yellow and the other 2 were white. They spoke Chinese. The common language in Hongning headquarter city is Chinese, so most of the people in HQ know Chinese. Luo Feng jumped into the truck and looked towards the back of the truck. With a glance, he saw a large locked box. Looking at the size of the box, things like shields and ghost blades could indeed be stored. At this time, the same blue light from before shone on the locked box. Reward item, confirmed, correct, the electronic sound rang, "Student Luo Feng, please receive the reward item." Luo Feng took a step forward. One of the tall white men carried the locked box and brought it in front of Luo Feng. "Student Luo Feng, what's inside?" The white man smiled as he asked. "It's a secret." Luo Feng smiled as he received the locked box. Finally, the huge reward is in his hands, the dragon blood is in his hands. Luo Feng swiftly returned to his living quarters while carrying the briefcase. Jiangnan Pavilion in a secret underground chamber. Kaka, Luo Feng twisted the lock on the underground room's alloy door. Since he obtained the dragon blood, the first thing he did was use it. If he didn't use it and some student found out that he had dragon blood, they might steal it. At that time he wouldn't even have a place to cry. Using dragon blood was also a very important matter. In order to prevent others from disturbing him, it was best to use dragon blood in the underground secret room. The light illuminated the entire secret chamber. Luo Feng placed the locked box in the corner. This was a fingerprint lockbox. Luo Feng swiped his finger across and with a ka sound, the locked box opened. The lockbox was huge. It was split into 2 layers. The upper layer was a neatly stacked battle uniform, ghost blade, shield, throwing knives, etc. Luo Feng took all of these out and placed them to the side before looking at the lower layer. On the lower level there were only 2 wooden boxes. Of these 2 wooden boxes, one contains the 9-stage Thunder Blade secret manual, and the other contains the dragon blood. Luo Feng carefully opened the first wooden box. In the wooden box was a thick instruction manual and a stack of discs. On the cover of the instruction manual were the words, 9-stage Thunder Blade. He had obtained the secret manual. I don't need to spend money on this instruction manual anymore. Luo Feng closed it again and opened another wooden box. When the wooden box was opened there was a test tube fixed with foam. The test tube was plugged with a stopper. The test tube was filled with golden blood, which took up about 1/3 of the test tube's volume. This is dragon blood worth 80 billion? Luo Feng carefully took out the foam and then carefully picked up the test tube, afraid that it would break. However, logically speaking, a test tube filled with dragon blood should be very sturdy. However, Luo Feng didn't dare to randomly test it, so he raised the test tube high up towards the fluorescent light. Under the illumination of the light, the golden blood made one's heart tremble. If one did not know its value, it would be impossible to believe that this thing was worth 80 billion. Luo Feng lowered his head to look. Under the wooden box that originally stored the dragon blood, there was an instruction manual. After Luo Feng picked it up and looked carefully, he couldn't help but to let out a smile. So this dragon blood is so easy to use. According to the instructions, he only needed to smear the dragon blood on his body, and there was no need to smear it all over his body, just a certain spot. The dragon blood would naturally permeate the entire body. The only taboo was not to drink it. I was at the 9-story building on the night of the 28th. My punching strength was 25,100 kilograms. I wonder how high it will be after using this dragon blood. Actually, at the end of June, Luo Feng's fist strength was only 19,600 kilograms. However, in July, Luo Feng's fist strength increased by over 5,000 kilograms. This was a shocking scale. Actually, it wasn't weird. In July, Luo Feng used the archaeological gravity room for 4 hours, which was split into 12 times of 20 minutes. Every day he stayed in the archaeological gravity room for 20 minutes for a total of 12 days. Every 3 days was equivalent to 15 days of normal training. Just these 12 days were equivalent to 2 months of normal training. That was why the effects in July were so shocking. Actually, Luo Feng wasn't exaggerating. If someone stayed in the archaeological gravity room for 2 hours every day for a month, they would have the same effect as 10 months. My fist strength is 25,100 kilograms. If I use dragon blood, it'll double and reach 50,000 kilograms, thought Luo Feng to himself. The higher one's strength, the weaker the effect of the dragon blood. The lower one's strength, the more obvious the effect of the dragon blood. A warrior-level fighter, because they're too weak, can become 4 times stronger after using dragon blood. Legend has it that dragon blood can double a person's strength, but that's just a rough number. My current fitness level is only that of an intermediate-level warlord. If I use dragon blood, it might not just double, it might even triple. Luo Feng was looking forward to it. He hasn't used dragon blood before. Maybe there are other people in the world who have used dragon blood, but their experiences haven't been publicized, so nobody knows the rough numbers. He can only experience it himself. In the underground room, Luo Feng laid flat on the ground. He held the test tube with dragon blood in his left hand and lightly pulled out the stopper. Suddenly, a special smell filled the underground room. Just by smelling this smell and breathing it into his body, Luo Feng felt every part of his body go numb. It felt like he was training his genetic energy. Dragon blood. Luo Feng slightly tilted the test tube and poured the dragon blood towards his chest. The dragon blood was quite viscous like mercury. It slowly flowed. The entire test tube was only that big, and with only 1/3 of the test tube's capacity, one portion of dragon blood was indeed very small. It didn't take up much space even when it flowed on his chest. Soon all the dragon blood in the test tube flowed out, and Luo Feng directly put the test tube to the side. The space is too small. Luo Feng immediately used his left and right hands to wipe the dragon blood on his naked upper body. He also wiped it on his arms. With this wipe, Luo Feng instantly felt his upper body and arms start to heat up. It's working? Luo Feng was full of anticipation. He could only feel waves of heat flowing along the dragon blood on his skin and quickly entering his body. It flowed towards every part of his body including his legs, hands, back, chest, head and so on. And this heat continued to increase. With the naked eye, he could see the amount of dragon blood on the surface of his skin rapidly decrease, as if it was seeping into his skin. The heat continued to increase. The temperature continued to increase. The manual said that the process would be very painful, to the point of causing people to faint. But I didn't think it would be this painful. I've been affected by headaches since I was young, so my endurance is quite high. I didn't think. Luo Feng's fists were tightly clenched and his entire body was trembling. At this moment, it was as if millions of ants were biting every part of his body. This pain made Luo Feng's face go pale. And the pain continued to increase. Numbness and even pain. Every part of his body, even his head. Hot. It made people feel as if they were being burned to death by fire. Numbness making people scratch themselves to death. Bang. Pain that went deep into his bones making him twitch. Itch. Sweat dripped down Luo Feng's forehead. His entire body was struggling, his muscles twitched, his heart rate increased, and the blood flow in his body continued to increase. The sound of his heartbeat. Badump. Every heartbeat was like a drum ringing in his ears. The sound became louder and louder until he lost consciousness, fainting. The amount of dragon blood on the surface of Luo Feng's body continued to decrease as it seeped into his body. And along with this seeping, Luo Feng's entire body started to twitch. Not only his entire body twitched, but even every single muscle on his body was twitching. The muscles on Luo Feng's bare upper body were twitching like earthworms. His skin seemed to be burning red and the veins on his entire body were bulging and twisting. It was very scary. Shishi. Along with this horrifying process, every single cell in Luo Feng's body was crazily swallowing this mysterious energy and began to transform. Ever since he was young, after all these years, even when Luo Feng first awakened as a spirit reader, his body's transformation wasn't as exaggerated as this. The genetic material in his cells, under the dragon blood's energy, rapidly transformed, leaving behind useless genes and improving them. Some of the wasted cells and impurities were directly expelled, leaving behind dirt on the surface of Luo Feng's body. Under this transformation that went deep into his cells, Luo Feng's tendons, bones, membranes, muscles, skin, organs, etc. all underwent shocking changes. The hardness of his bones continuously increased, and the toughness of his periosteum and tendons also underwent leaps and bounds of transformation. The dragon blood's energy was enough to provide for this transformation. Everything was happening rapidly. His training speed was thousands, tens of thousands of times faster than normal. And at the same time, within Luo Feng's consciousness, within that vast consciousness, in the middle of the endless mist that covered his realm of consciousness, the gigantic dark golden ball no longer slowly spun like before and slowly released its spiritual force. At this moment, the dark golden ball was like a dam that broke. Large amounts of liquid flowed out and instantly turned into mist. Large amounts of mist crazily spread and filled his entire realm of consciousness. Woohoo! The mist in his realm of consciousness continuously increased, and the rate of increase was extremely shocking. The dark golden ball crazily released large amounts of mist, which was thousands of times faster than normal or even faster. His body fitness level was increasing at a shocking rate. Naturally, the dark golden ball, which was always limited by his body fitness level and couldn't release its spiritual force, was also being released in his realm of consciousness. The strength of Luo Feng's spiritual force continued to increase. From the beginner Wargod level spiritual force before, it started to increase at a shocking rate. Slowly, the mist seemed to have reached a limit, and it actually condensed into droplets. 1 droplet, 2 droplets. Slowly, Luo Feng's body calmed down, and the dark golden ball in his realm of consciousness finally stopped releasing its spiritual force crazily. Instead, it slowly released it like before. Many droplets floated in his realm of consciousness that was covered in mist. Sometimes, the mist would enter the droplets and sometimes, it would be released. Luo Feng's realm of consciousness was already in a state where both mist and liquid coexisted. Oh? I fainted? Luo Feng's body slightly trembled and he finally regained consciousness. His eyelids slightly moved and his eyes slowly opened. Right now, Luo Feng's entire body was covered in a layer of dirt. His entire body was black and even his face was black. After Luo Feng opened his eyes, he casually got up, slightly moved his arms, and fiercely rubbed his body with his left hand. In an instant, the black dirt was rubbed away, revealing his bronze skin. Yeah, Luo Feng's skin color completely changed. From his normal yellow skin, it turned into a bronze color that seemed like it was cast from steel. This was clearly the result of the dragon blood seeping into his skin. What a powerful force. Luo Feng felt the shocking power in his body. It's much more powerful than before. 3.5x explode. Luo Feng ferociously punched the alloy wall beside him. With a rumble, half of Luo Feng's fist caved in. After that, his left fist punched again. Every punch caused the entire underground room to shake, and every punch left a shocking hole in the alloy wall. Dong. Low sounds that seemed to be smashing into a person's heart rang out one after another. After suddenly obtaining such a powerful force, Luo Feng used the most barbaric method to vent the joy in his heart. Great Luo Feng couldn't help but to yell. Luo Feng turned his head towards the battle uniform. Whoosh. 10 throwing knives swiftly pierced through the air. In this 5-meter long, 5-meter wide and 2.5-meter tall alloy room, they actually began to revolve around Luo Feng at an astonishing speed. In an instant they reached 10 times the speed of sound and continued to increase. With such a terrifying speed, the throwing knives even flashed past the alloy wall beside them and cut a ravine. Luo Feng tightly clenched his fists. He even had a feeling. Even if he faced that high-level Horde leader steel armored dragon from back then, he would still dare to fight it and even kill it. Jiangnan Pagoda, Luo Feng's bathroom. Hua hua. The hot water splashed onto Luo Feng's strong body and washed away all the dirt. Goo goo, all the dirty water in the bathtub flowed out. After that, Luo Feng plugged the plug and laid in the bathtub as the hot water splashed onto his body. Even though he was lying there, Luo Feng's mood was unprecedentedly happy. After a while, Luo Feng climbed out of the bathtub, wiped his body with a towel and then walked into his room naked. He put on his battle boots and long pants, but only wore a casual shirt on his upper body. In the pockets of his long pants, there were 10 throwing knives. I'll go to the 9 grand floors and test my current strength. Luo Feng swiftly went downstairs and headed towards the 9 grand floors in the dark. At this time it was already around 2 p.m. Around 2 p.m. Only the 9th floor of the 9 grand floors still had some students. Because the elite training camp's archaeological gravity room and training room are open 24 hours a day, there's only 1 hour in the afternoon when they're not used. The rest of the time is used by students, even if it's late at night. However, the other training halls were completely empty. 9 grand floors, 5th floor, one of the small training halls. Pa. The light was turned on. A yellow-skinned youth appeared in this training hall. The door was already closed from the inside. As for the windows. When the windows of the 9 grand floors were designed, people from the outside couldn't see inside, while people from the inside could easily see outside. Luo Feng was very satisfied with all of this. For now, he doesn't want people to know that he's a spirit reader. Spiritual force 2 levels higher than my body fitness level. Let's see just what level my body fitness level has reached. Luo Feng walked towards a large fist strength tester in the corner of the training hall. The fist strength tester in the 9 grand floors is the best of the best. It can easily test the strength of advanced level Wargods. To be able to withstand the heavy punches of advanced level Wargods, one can only imagine the cost of this fist strength tester. After turning on the switch, the display of the fist strength tester lit up. 2 days ago, my fist strength was 25,100 kilograms. Let's see how much it's at now. Luo Feng stood in front of the fist strength tester. Advanced level Wargods weigh hundreds of thousands of kg. Even an explosive punch of close to 1,000,000 kg can't break it. The material used for this fist strength tester isn't much weaker than the scales of a high-level horde leader monster. Luo Feng moved. Luo Feng's right fist was like a cannonball, bringing with it a sonic boom as it directly smashed onto the target without any special method of using his strength, only to see Luo Feng's right fist explode. The target shook violently and the sound was deep and muffled. Luo Feng immediately looked at the display. A number appeared on the display, 63,602 kilograms. So many? How can it be so high? Luo Feng's eyes widened. He felt as if he was hit by a huge pie. Originally, Luo Feng estimated that his fist strength could reach at least 50,000 kilograms. If his luck was good, he might be able to earn more than 50,000. If he was extremely lucky, he might earn as much as 60,000. But 63,600? That was almost 64,000 yuan. That's the lowest limit for beginner-level Wargods. My fitness level can barely be considered a beginner-level Wargod. Doesn't that mean my spirit force can barely be considered an advanced-level Wargod-level spirit reader? Luo Feng's heart was filled with joy. He was clear that the limit for beginner-level Wargods was 64,000 kilograms to 128,000 kilograms. His advanced-level Wargod-level spirit reader can only be considered a beginner-level Wargod-level spirit reader, not the peak of the advanced-level Wargod level. When his strength reaches 128,000 kilograms, he'll probably be a spirit reader at the peak of the advanced-level Wargod level. However, it's a spirit reader. Even if he just stepped into the advanced-level Wargod level, killing a normal fighter, even a fighter at the peak of the advanced-level Wargod level, won't be a problem. He can absolutely sweep through normal advanced-level Wargods. In the entire world, other than the existences surpassing the Wargod level, most of the Wargods, even the extremely powerful advanced-level Wargods, can be swept by me. Only a few can match me. Luo Feng's eyes were like lightning. His powerful strength gave him absolute confidence. Strength brings confidence. And among the Wargods, only spirit readers at the peak of the advanced level Wargod level can make Luo Feng lower his head. Powerful. This is true strength. Luo Feng's excitement surged like a tidal wave. Compared to his spiritual force, his close combat skills are way too weak. His body fitness level barely qualifies as a beginner-level Wargod. Even with a battle ability amplifier of over 12, he can still obtain the title of an intermediate-level Wargod. But compared to his spiritual force, it's nothing. Around 25,100 kilograms to around 63,600 kilograms. My body fitness level didn't just double, it increased by around 2.5 times. Luo Feng calculated in his mind, the effects of this dragon blood are indeed shocking. Luo Feng guessed wrong this time. Just one portion of dragon blood probably only had an effect of 2 times, just barely enough. Other than the dragon blood, the transformation this time was also due to the strengthening of his body with his spiritual force. When Luo Feng first awakened, his body fitness level increased by a huge amount, but his spiritual force only increased to the beginner-level Wargod level. And this time, Luo Feng's spiritual force directly jumped from the beginner-level Wargod level to the advanced-level Wargod level. In terms of quantity, the increase in his spiritual force was 10 times that of his first awakening. With such an increase in spiritual force, naturally Luo Feng's body also strengthened. However, since it was strengthened at the same time as the dragon blood, the increase wasn't as exaggerated. However, it still increased Luo Feng's fist strength by around 10,000 kilograms. From around 50,000 kilograms, it directly increased to 64,000 kilograms. Deep into the night, in the spacious training hall, Luo Feng retreated step by step until he was 20 meters away from the fist strength tester machine. Let me see just how strong my spiritual force is. Luo Feng's eyes flashed. Luo Feng's eyes flashed and immediately 2 black throwing knives with a faint silver glow floated in front of him. These two throwing knives were the SS-grade throwing knives he obtained this time. With a thought from Luo Feng, the two throwing knives immediately turned 180 degrees. The handles of the throwing knives faced the fist strength tester machine, while the tips of the throwing knives faced Luo Feng himself. Go! Under Luo Feng's powerful spiritual force. Whoosh! One of the SS-grade throwing knives instantly turned into a black light. The handle of the knife pointed forward and the tip pointed back. Just like that, the black light shot towards the fist strength tester machine's fist strength tester machine. Pung! The fist strength tester ferociously shook and let out a low sound that could make one's heart stop. A number immediately appeared on the display, 218,606 kilograms. After seeing this number, Luo Feng couldn't help but to shake his head and sigh. Sick. No wonder spirit readers are invincible. Luo Feng was shocked. According to the fitness level, 128,000 kilograms, 256,000 kilograms is the fitness level of an intermediate level Wargod. However, this throwing knife attack doesn't rely on strength, but on speed. Throwing knives that rely on speed can all contain the strength of an advanced level Wargod. How could it be strange for these throwing knives to kill an advanced level Wargod? I can simultaneously control 10 throwing knives and attack from all directions. Their speed surpasses 10 times the speed of sound, and they can instantly change directions. No matter how strong your advanced level Wargod's body is, no matter how powerful your blade technique is, no matter how nimble your technique is, you'll still die. Luo Feng couldn't help but to sigh as he saw this number. They're on completely different levels. Advanced level Wargods have a hard time defending against attacks that surpass 10 times the speed of sound. Also, spiritual force can control a few throwing knives to surround and attack, which is much scarier than the monsters in the Tower of Trials. Which monster can reach 10 times the speed of sound? This is the terror of a spirit reader. In terms of spiritual force, it barely reaches the lowest level of an advanced level Wargod. However, in terms of flexibility and strangeness, Luo Feng can easily defeat most advanced level Wargods. Except for a few crazy people or other advanced level Wargod level spirit readers. Even though Luo Feng's current strength is already the number one in the elite training camp, Luo Feng was clear that there are still people stronger than him in this world. Not mentioning existences surpassing the Wargod level. Amongst Wargods he's not invincible yet. He's only close to invincible. August 1st morning, 193 students gathered on the grass field in front of the 9 grand floors. They were all chatting in groups of 3 to 5. All of the students were fully equipped with their bags and weapons because today is the day of the life and death adventure. However, before they leave, everyone was waiting for one person. The world's strongest fighter, Hong. Why isn't Hong here yet? Zhao Rua, Luo Feng, and Shi Jiang were all sitting on the grass field chatting. Zhao Rua's face was completely red. I dreamt of Hong last night. Ah. Stop being so love-struck, joked Luo Feng. What did you say? Zhao Rua glared. Luo Feng was shocked. He looked toward Shi Jiang and changed the topic. Senior Shi Jiang, you've met the head before. What does he look like? After hearing this, Zhao Rua also looked toward Shi Jiang. After all, only Shi Jiang, an old student, has seen Hong before. Head Hong. How should I put it? Shi Jiang's eyes had a bit of respect and a strange color. Divinity. Divinity? Luo Feng froze. Yeah, the legendary divinity. I can't think of any other words to describe him, sighed Shi Jiang. I've seen other investigators' existences surpassing the Wargod level. However, those existences surpassing the Wargod level, compared to the head Hong, are like stars compared to the sun. Luo Feng nodded to himself. Shi Jiang smiled as he looked at Luo Feng and Zhao Rua. Brothers, sisters, you guys should put more effort into the upcoming life and death adventure. This time we're going to the continent of Australia. After the Grand Nirvana, the entire continent of Australia will be the world of monsters. It's one of the 3 most dangerous places in the world along with Africa's Sahara and South America's Amazon. Before the Grand Nirvana, there were many animals in the continent of Australia. There were only around 10 million people on the continent. After the Grand Nirvana period came, the mutated monsters in the continent of Australia became the most numerous in the world. There were no humans on the continent. The entire continent was the nest of the monsters. Along with Africa's Sahara and South America's Amazon, they were one of the 3 most dangerous places. Occasionally, some super organizations would send a special team to this continent to train. And this time, Luo Feng and the others were heading towards the continent of Australia. Luo Feng couldn't help but to raise his head and look towards the sky. Quite a few other students also looked towards the sky because a sonic boom rang in the sky. A blurry shadow appeared in the sky above the elite training camp. After it condensed, it was a blood-red triangular fighter jet. The head is here. Hurry, everyone, get up. All of the Wargod teachers as well as the students sitting on the grass, all stood up straight. Everyone knew that. The strongest fighter in the world. The richest person in the world. The most powerful existence in the world is about to appear. This blood-red triangular fighter jet had smooth lines and gave people the feeling that it was a ferocious flying monster that was about to attack. At this time, this blood-red triangular fighter jet was slowly descending from the sky. All of the students and Wargod teachers in the elite training camp remained silent. No one dared to make a sound. The fighter jet landed. Achoo! The hatch opened. An Asian and a Caucasian simultaneously stepped out of the hatch. Just like that, as if there was a staircase in the air that normal people couldn't see, they directly walked onto the grass. This scene caused all of the students to widen their eyes. Existences surpassing the Wargod level, and two of them. Luo Feng was also shocked. Looks like these two people are the two main investigators of the Dojo of Limits headquarters. The two investigators stood on the grass on both sides as they silently waited for the head of the dojo. Over 200 pairs of eyes in the elite training camp stared at the hatch. Everyone was waiting for the legendary strongest fighter in the world, and the undisputed strongest fighter in the world. Finally, a shadow walked out of the hatch. Luo Feng didn't even dare to blink, afraid of wasting time. He carefully looked at the man that walked out of the hatch. He was around 1.9 meters tall, wearing black pants, a black jacket, and had short hair. With just a glance, he gave off the feeling that he was a spear that was about to pierce through the sky. As for his age, not a single wrinkle could be seen on his face. He looked like he was in his 20s. However, that aura wasn't something a regular youth could have. He stepped out of the hatch and scanned across everyone in the elite training camp. Rumble. Luo Feng only felt an explosion in his head. The sky and earth around him were completely distorted, and the morning sun disappeared from his field of vision. All of the students in the elite training camp were horrified to find that the entire sky seemed to have turned from morning to night. There was no light at all, only darkness. The sky and earth were black, and the most eye-catching thing in this black sky was the black-haired man. He is a deity. An omnipotent deity. Even the Wargod teachers didn't have the heart to resist. They couldn't even think of resisting. Facing the gaze of this black-haired man, even Luo Feng, who was much more powerful, felt that this powerful black-haired man could kill him with just one gaze. He is Hong, the strongest man in the world. Beside Hong, the two investigators were completely overshadowed. Investigators are existences surpassing the Wargod level. However, in front of Hong, the gap between them was too great. Elite training camp, this batch of students is not bad. A cold voice rang out. As soon as he finished speaking, all the trainees and teachers in the elite training camp, who had been plunged into darkness, discovered that the endless darkness around them had disappeared. The morning sun had once again appeared. But even so, everyone felt a kind of mental pressure as if they were ants facing an elephant. In front of Hong, everyone felt insignificant. Dojo Master, there are quite a few good seedlings in this batch of students. The leader of the elite training camp, Patrol Wang, said. Almost all the students looked at Hong as if he was their idol. The spiritual leader of martial artists. Hong took a step forward and appeared beside a student as if he had teleported. All the students, teachers, and even the investigator all turned to look. The black-haired Hong was staring at a young student, Luo Feng. Luo Feng stared at the black-haired man before him. This world's strongest warrior was actually staring at him? Why is he staring at me? Hong is looking at Luo Feng. Head Hong, why is he looking at Luo Feng? Among the students, Candace was worried and dissatisfied. The three investigators weren't surprised, since LuoFeng's contract was personally written by the head. You're Luo Feng? Even though his voice was gentle, it was still powerful. The black-haired man lowered his head and examined the young youth in front of him. Yes, head Luo Feng replied respectfully. The black-haired man grinned, and the corner of his mouth seemed to be slightly curving. The head smiled. The three investigators were shocked. They knew very well the temper of the strongest fighter in the world. Normally, even towards existences surpassing the Wargod level, it's hard for him to smile. The black-haired man examined Luo Feng and couldn't help but to exclaim, such powerful spiritual force. Luo Feng froze. The three investigators froze. All the students in the training camp were also stunned. Such powerful spiritual force? Is he talking about Luo Feng? Luo Feng is a spirit reader? I. Luo Feng was completely stunned. His secret as a spirit reader was revealed by the world's strongest fighter, Hong, in front of the three investigators, all the students, and all the Wargod teachers. His spiritual force wasn't released at all in his realm of consciousness, so the other investigators didn't notice. Who would have thought that the head would notice and even say it out loud? I didn't think that you would have such powerful spiritual force, no wonder. The black-haired man, Hong, slightly nodded as if he was very satisfied with Luo Feng. After that, the black-haired man, Hong, glanced at the other students and said coldly, you are the most elite geniuses among the youths of the world. Your goal isn't to become Wargods, but to become existences surpassing the Wargod level. I hope that one of you can reach this step. The head's words seemed to have an infinite amount of power that directly permeated into everyone's souls. All the students felt their blood boil under this formless guidance. After that, the black-haired man Hong turned around and left. When Hong disappeared from their line of sight, all the students and the God of War teachers were in an uproar. The head Hong is too powerful. He's like a god. I felt like the head just now was the ruler of the entire world. Yeah. All the students used their own languages to excitedly chat with their fellow countrymen. Luo Feng, you're a spirit reader? You actually still have this hidden card, spirit reader? Quite a few students from China were shocked towards Luo Feng. However, everyone is from the elite training camp. The elite training camp has always been collecting geniuses from all over the world. There are quite a few spirit readers here, so even though everyone was shocked, they weren't too jealous. Of course, if they knew that Luo Feng's spiritual force could defeat most advanced level war gods, they would probably be dumbfounded. Luo Feng, a slightly hoarse voice rang. The surroundings were silent. Luo Feng turned his head and saw that the person walking over was indeed Investigator Wang. Investigator Wang looked at Luo Feng. Let's go, follow me to see the head. Yes, even though Luo Feng was confused, he still followed Investigator Wang to see the head. And now, in the crowd of students, the tall, skinny, blonde youth, Candace, stared at the departing Luo Feng. His gaze was cold as he clenched his teeth. Spirit reader? Who would have thought that you're actually a spirit reader? Looks like my aunt and the others were right. Yup, I have to tell my aunt about this immediately. William, I'm going back to my place for a bit, said Candace. Okay, hurry up, we'll probably be leaving soon, nodded William. In a quiet tea room, the black-haired man Hong sat on a chair and held a teacup as he sighed. This Luo Feng has such astonishing spiritual force at such a young age. Looks like his natural spiritual force is extremely powerful. He's probably one of the top spirit readers I've ever seen. His brain expanse is definitely high, so no wonder his comprehension is so high. He was able to train his 9-stage Thunder Blade to the 4th stage in such a short amount of time. However, if he has spiritual force, why has he been hiding it? The black-haired man Hong thought. I'm afraid that he'll be very troubled if I reveal this. Indeed. Luo Feng was troubled. Under Investigator Wang's lead, Luo Feng's mind was filled with frustration as he walked. This head Hong suddenly revealed his secret, which caught him completely off guard. As of now, he's strong, but the Vulture-Scorpion couple isn't weak either. He originally planned to take things one step at a time. He's in the dark while the Vulture-Scorpion couple is in the light. Everything is in his favor. But now that he suddenly revealed it, the Vulture-Scorpion couple aren't idiots. They probably guessed that I'm the culprit, sighed Luo Feng. The dojo master is inside. Let's go in, Inspector Wang said. Yes. Luo Feng walked into the quiet tea room. Sit. His voice was still a bit cold, but the black-haired man Hong looked at Luo Feng with interest. Luo Feng obediently sat down. Luo Feng, your spiritual force has probably reached the advanced level Wargod level. Among Wargods there aren't many that are stronger than you. Why are you still hiding your strength? Could it be that your enemy is an existence surpassing the Wargod level? The head Hong looked at Luo Feng. If I reveal this and cause you trouble, don't worry. If your enemy is an existence surpassing the Wargod level, I can guarantee that he won't touch a single hair on your body. Hong understood that one sentence of his could cause trouble, so he made a promise. To Hong. In the entire world, no one dares to go against his words. An existence surpassing the Wargod level? Luo Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He's not strong enough to make enemies of that level. Head, I had a conflict with the Vulture-Scorpion couple's son in the wilderness of Jiangnan headquarters city and killed him. The Vulture-Scorpion couple is offering a sky-high reward for the identity of the culprit. Luo Feng said honestly, I also obtained the dragon blood before and used it to increase my strength greatly. Luo Feng didn't have to lie in front of the head. What kind of status does the head have? To Hong, the conflict between Luo Feng and the Vulture-Scorpion is like a fight between ants. Didn't you hear, Hong? Even an existence surpassing the Wargod level can be guaranteed to not touch a single hair on Luo Feng with just one sentence. How bold is that? Oh, I've heard of that 100 billion bounty, the head Hong slightly nodded. As long as you aren't an idiot, you can understand. If a powerless young fighter wasn't forced into a corner, how would he dare to kill the son of 2 advanced level Wargods? After I said those words, I believe that Vulture Liao will know about it soon. Vulture Liao will know about this. Chief Master Hong nodded slightly. Luo Feng felt helpless. Isn't that right? It's exactly because of one sentence from a great deity like you that I'm completely flustered. However, who dares to complain about Hong? If he directly confronts the Vulture-Scorpion couple, then so be it. He's not afraid of them right now, but his family. Head Luo Feng said sincerely, I'm not afraid of the Vulture-Scorpion couple either, but my family. Don't worry, nothing will happen to your family, the head Hong spoke. After hearing this, Luo Feng felt a wave of relief. Is there anything more useful than the head, Hong, in this world? Those presidents and prime ministers might be forced to do something else tomorrow. However, Hong's words can be said to be the golden rule, that no one can challenge. I think that with Vulture Liao's personality, he'll definitely take this chance to attack you when you guys go on a life and death adventure in the continent of Australia, said the head. You and him are both fighters, so I won't interfere. Hong, who is above everyone else, has such a high status. Unless it's necessary, he really won't interfere with the matters of fighters. If Vulture Liao comes to the continent of Australia, it's hard to say who will die. Luo Feng's gaze was firm. The head Hong slightly nodded. Luo Feng, you're a member of the Dojo of Limits. Let me remind you, this Vulture Liao successfully came out of the archaeological ruins and obtained a Black God set. The most important thing about this Black God set is that it can form a protective armor at will. It can even cover 100% of the user's entire body, including his nose and mouth. Luo Feng froze. Once it covers 100% of the body, your throwing knives won't be able to pierce through the Black God set. The head Hong glanced at Luo Feng's pocket. Of course, no one will always cover their nose and mouth, especially their eyes. If they cover their eyes, won't they be unable to see? Luo Feng was shocked. The so-called Black God set can actually form a protective armor at will. Unbelievable. So, you have a chance to kill him with a sneak attack. Overall, his defense is strong while you're good at escaping. His attacks are strong while your attacks are unpredictable. After coming out of the tea room, Luo Feng calmed down. If he didn't have the Black God set, Luo Feng would be able to suppress Vulture Liao in a head-on battle. But now with the Black God set, Liao is practically invincible. He's not weaker than Luo Feng at all. Hong clearly doesn't want to interfere with this. Right, the difference in strength between Vulture Liao and me isn't too big. I'm afraid Hong is treating this as a test for me, Luo Feng thought to himself. Indeed, to the head, Hong, Luo Feng is a piece of jade. However, a piece of jade needs to be polished before it can become a weapon. Otherwise it's just a piece of jade. If even Vulture Liao needs the dojo's help, then Hong would be too disappointed. Liao, maybe you have more experience or maybe you even brought quite a few people. However, I'll be waiting for you in the continent of Australia. Luo Feng immediately walked towards the training camp where the students gathered. In the faraway country of China, Jiangnan headquarters city. Main sectors Jiangnan Mountain Water Sector, Huayao Peaks Villa. Liao and the blonde woman, Vanina, stared at Candace's image on the gigantic screen in front of them. That's it, Aunt, Uncle, I'm going to gather. We're about to leave for the continent of Australia. Candace's image disappeared in a flash. Liao and Vanina were both furious and in extreme pain. So it was him. So it was him. Liao said in a low voice, hiding his identity as a spirit reader all this time. If he didn't have a guilty conscience, why would he hide his identity? Elite training camp students? Even if you're the emperor, I, Liao, will tear you to pieces and make you regret ever being born. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming great videos.